What was that horse's name? That nameless horse gives the listener a chance to make their own mind up about the visuals. It reminds me a lot of being non-binary. See, the term itself is not a new box or a new label, but it's the absence thereof. My name is Madden Lopez, and I am non-binary. Our brains are like little computers. If it sees a question laid before it, then it wants to answer. And if it cannot answer this question, then it starts to get angry and it starts to get afraid. This is left over from our hunter-gatherer days. The brain starts to auto-categorize or stereotype in order to make oneself feel safe against the other. All labels do not fit all people. Did you know that language is alive? Since the beginning of mankind, whether it be verbal or nonverbal, language has had to evolve along with the way that humans communicate with each other. This includes communication about the self. If you are in the LGBTQ+ community, the language about your identity may be living a double life. There's the way that we speak about ourselves and the way that others speak about us. Though both have evolved, neither is finished unfolding. Did you know that the term dyke was actually comparative of the vaginal form to a ditch on the side of the road? Faggot is derived from the practice of bundling twigs and sticks together to be used as fuel, mocking our ancestors that were burned alive for their sexual identities. Queer was hurled at friends and folks of our community, often accompanied with a beer bottle to the head. Some folks have reclaimed these words and turned them into badges of honor, going so far as to grow nourishing identities from the painful word's history. But let's not forget, the spoken word is not the only mode of communication. Visual media has played a huge role in the evolution of language, and thus the way that our community is viewed. With the intersection of audio and visual senses, we've seen the queer coding happening before our very eyes. From Medea to Shanae, from Scar to Javar, even as far back as Flip Wilson dressing up as Geraldine. Queer coding is the subtextual coding of a character in media as a part of the LGBTQ+ community. Though the character's sexual identity may not ever be explicitly confirmed, but traits and stereotypes recognizable by the audience show that this person is a part of the queer community. There's that word again, stereotypes. What are they and why are they so bad? We might see effeminate men switching their hips with a higher voice and a little limp wrist, while masculinized women had deepened voices and broad shoulders. These characters often lacked full storyline, love interest, or a name for that matter. From Bruno to Xena, Pumbaa to Timon, queer coding has been the way that the mainstream media has communicated about our community for decades. We played the villain, we played the immoral. We've been turned into a joke, one that lives in locker rooms and behind closed doors, inciting violence and creating dangerous scenarios for those of us that live this truth off the screen. All of this pain we have turned into pride, showing off our limp wrists and pouring a little extra sugar in the tank. Hey, even the Pride Parade started out as a riot. But what about the terms? We didn't create these terms. And as Audre Lorde said, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. Similarly, the oppressor's language will never bring us out of the internalized homophobia left behind by these negative messages. The collective process of claiming terminology does not happen with one person alone. But we're worth the work that it takes to come to a consensus and tell the world who we are. Our language to describe ourselves is as variant as the people that it represents. Creating a world without labels gives the next generation a chance to choose their own adventure. It also gives voice to those who've lived before us, who never had the chance to choose who they were before the world decided for them. Let's give them a break from the rigid confines of gender and sexuality. So, whether you live within the box or outside of the binary, the only way to move forward is to realize that our identities deserve a fresh start. I don't have all of the answers, but let's keep talking.